Greetings, everyone. You will recall that when the Zimbabwe exemption permits were discontinued by Cabinet, there were different organizations that took the Department of Home Affairs to court. You will know that firstly, before the announcement of 25 November 2021, that the Zimbabwe exemption permit was to be discontinued. Already, an organization which was represented by Advocate Simba Chitando had made an announcement that it was going to approach the courts to compel the Department of Home Affairs to grant permanent residence to holders of the Zimbabwe exemption permits. Then, before they went to court, an announcement was then made to discontinue with the Zimbabwe exemption permits. Then, after the announcement of 25 November 2021, then there were other two cases that were then announced, which at the end you had three cases before the Pretoria High Court. So you had the case which was fronted by Advocate Simba Chitando, representing some sections of Zimbabweans who are holders of Zimbabwe exemption permits to be granted permanent residence. And then you have Helen Suzman Foundation and others, Helen Suzman Foundation and Consortium for Refugees, that also went to court saying the decision by the cabinet was unfair, unconstitutional and invalid, which of course the High Court in Pretoria ruled in their favor. There was also another case where this was by the Zimbabwe Immigration Federation, which also went to High Court in Pretoria. And you will also recall that we discussed the judgment in this platform. We actually discussed the three judgments in previous videos. We are revisiting those three videos so that we remind each other on what the cases were and what the judgments were. So we're going to do this in the next video, where we will have to revisit the three judgments, so that as we proceed in having this discussion, all of us are clear in terms of the legal processes that are before the courts. As we said in the previous video, that the minister is going to the Constitutional Court. Now, in this video, we are only dealing with the response by the Zimbabwe Immigration Federation pertaining to the appeal by the Minister of Home Affairs. They have a press statement dated 5th of March 2024. It is addressed to ZEP members, ZEP strategic partners, my machine here is acting up. DHA ministers, Supreme Court appeal against ZIF Part A has been granted by the Supreme Court of Appeal, right? It says, I'm reading what is written in their statement dated 5th of March 2024. It says, good evening, members and the strategic partners. Please take note that the Supreme Court of Appeal, SCA, has granted the DHA minister leave to appeal against our Part A verdict in the High Court. We have been engaging with the lawyers to understand what this means to the ZIF members and the ZEP holders, and below are the facts gathered. 1. Our lawyers will have to go and defend the appeal on a day to be decided by the Supreme Court of Appeal. 2. The Supreme Court of Appeal hearing will add more to our legal costs. 3. The granting of the leave to appeal does not necessarily replace the High Court ruling on Part A. but suspends the outcome, in brackets, without necessarily withdrawing the rights given to ZIF members and the ZEP holders in the outcome. 4. The granting of the leave to appeal suspends the schedule for the hearing of Part B as scheduled by the High Court judgment of the 23rd of June 2023 until the appeal is heard and a verdict is not clear. Says until the verdict is in the SCA. This does not mean that Part B will not be heard unless we lose in the Supreme Court of Appeal case. It continues, in our conversations with the lawyers, they gave us confidence that there is no way our Part B verdict will be turned down because of case laws upon which the judgment was made by the High Court. Turning the verdict down will need the Constitution to be amended, which will not happen. In such a case, inasmuch as this development adds more to our legal courts, it also presents us with opportunity to prove to our detractors who peddle untruths that the ZIF case was of no use or that it was overshadowed by the Helen Suzman case. Our case is the only one where leave to appeal was granted, pointing out that our ZIF case is the only one that would have a prolonged effect on ZEP holders' existence in SA, unlike the Helen Suzman and other cases. I would like to applaud all members who continue to stand fast to contribute to our worthy cause and our existence as ZIF armed forces against us and our goal and objectives. We'll soldier on. Regards, Vidren Mungadzi says ZIF board chairperson and interim ZIF committee chairperson. That's the statement that they've put out. So in the next video, we are going to relook into those judgments, as I've already said, so that we are all clear. But what the ZIF here is raising, which we'll further discuss, when the Supreme Court or the High Court, because if you are to appeal, as we indicated in the previous videos, the High Court, which made the judgment, grants if it believes that it might have erred in its judgment and that there's a prospect of success by the minister, it grants the minister the right to appeal, which in this case, in the case of the ZIF, this is what happened, because the High Court or the Supreme Court believes that a different court might come to a different outcome. But in the case involving the Helen Suzman Foundation, it does not believe that a different court can come to a different outcome, right? I'm sure I'm clear, because the lower court, which grants the right to appeal, believes that maybe a different court, a higher court, might come to a different conclusion, different from theirs, which might be to the benefit of the respondent, in this case the minister. But in the Helen Suzman Foundation, it believes that it does not believe that another court or a higher court will come to a different conclusion as their own conclusion, that the discontinuing of the ZEP was unfair and unconstitutional. So like I'm saying, we will revisit those judgments and have a discussion on that. Please write your comments in the comment section, like this video, subscribe to this YouTube channel. If you are on TikTok, please do follow us. Otherwise, have a great day. Goodbye.